everyone, and welcome to the Metuchen Borough Council meeting of June 22nd, 2026. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to Public Law 1975, Chapter 231. Said notice was published in the Home News Tribune on December 14, 2025, posted in Borough Hall and on file in the clerk's office. All requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied. Please join us for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please. Ms. Zupan?
Councilmember Branch?
I am here.
Councilmember Hyman?
Here.
Councilmember Jethwani?
Here.
Councilmember Kandel? Councilmember Sukhan?
Here.
Council President Delia?
Here.
Mayor Bush?
Here. Do I have a motion to open the agenda session?
I make a motion to open the agenda session.
There's been a motion by the council president. Is there a second?
Second.
There's been a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the agenda session's open. Do we have items for the agenda session? I understand we do.
Yes, Mayor, I have one block party for Thomas Street on July 11th to add to the communications consent agenda as item B, please.
Can't forget about a block party.
Right.
Okay, we're going to add that to the communications consent agenda.
Yep, as item B, please.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
Anything else from other council members? Anybody object to that? We're good? Okay, is there a motion to close the agenda
I
session?
make a motion to close the agenda
There's
session.
been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. We have now closed the agenda session, and we have a special proclamation tonight. We've got members here from two of our community congregations, namely Neve Shalom right here in Metuchen, also Temple Emmanuel of Edison. And, as I traveled in different circles of Metuchen this weekend, it struck me just how extraordinary so many people in this community are. But one thing that struck me in particular was the work of the volunteers of Neve Shalom and what they plan on doing this week. And it is a statement and a testament to the work of this community, the belief system of this community, and the way that we support not just one another, but the way we support others in general. And, I want to read a proclamation, but before I do, talk a bit about what's going on. Ira Grubman, who's the president of Neve Shalom, a couple of months ago reached out to me to explain that in response to a terrible arson that destroyed a synagogue partially destroyed a synagogue in Jackson, Mississippi, that he'd reached out to the president of their synagogue and offered them one of Neve's Torahs as a result of two of their Torahs, which had been destroyed in the fire. For those of you who don't know, a Torah is the most holy scroll that could possibly be in a synagogue. And there was a really meaningful conversation, it sounds like, that took place between the respective presidents. And as a result, this donation is like a significant thing. This isn't just a leftover scroll hanging around. This is a 250-year-old document, the same age as these United States. And, this is something that obviously is very sacred to the congregation, and the fact that you're giving it to someone else in need, I think is an extraordinary statement, not just as to Neve, but to, the Jewish community in general, but also to, what it means for Metuchen, and that you're doing this as an example. And, there's so much going on in this community, and this is just another example of it. But this is a heartwarming story, an inspiring story, and one that deserves a proclamation and some recognition. So I'm going to read this proclamation, and then I ask some members, not just of Temple Neve Shalom from Metuchen, but also some supporters as well from Temple Emmanuel. And we also have with us State Senator Pat Dignan, who's here for this occasion, who'll join us at the front, and I'm going to read this. Whereas Congregation Neve Shalom, a conservative Jewish synagogue located in Metuchen, New Jersey, will travel to Jackson, Mississippi to donate one of its Torah scrolls to Beth Israel Congregation, Mississippi's largest synagogue, following a devastating arson attack. And whereas in the early morning hours of January 10th, 2026, the attack heavily damaged Beth Israel. The fire severely damaged the building and destroyed 2 Torah scrolls while damaging 5 others. The congregation had previously been targeted in 1967 when the Ku Klux Klan bombed the synagogue because Rabbi Perry E. Nussbaum supported the civil rights movement. And whereas, upon hearing reports of the fire, Neve Shalom President Ira Grubman immediately reached out to Beth Israel President Zach Schemper to express solidarity and offer assistance. In recognizing the irreplaceable loss of the Torah scrolls, Mr. Grubman offered one of Neve Shalom's Torahs as a gift. And whereas the Torah scroll being donated is estimated to be approximately 250 years old, originally from Czechoslovakia, it is made from natural parchment with text totaling 59 lines per column, and the parchment height is 44 inches and is written in an Ariza Sephardi style. And whereas a delegation from the synagogue will travel south to present the Torah during a dedication ceremony at Northminster Baptist Church in Jackson, Mississippi on Friday, June 26, 2026, and whereas the gift carries a special connection to Mississippi, Neve Shalom Sisterhood created a new Torah mantle for the donated scroll in its loom room. The mantle comes full circle as it was woven using cotton originating from land in the Mississippi Delta. And whereas cotton provided for the Torah mantle was given by descendants of Morris Grundfest, which is the same cotton previously supplied to Sisterhood to weave Judaic items sold at the Museum of Southern Jewish Experience in New Orleans, Louisiana. And whereas the congregation's religious school students also contributed to Beth Israel's rebuilding efforts by donating the money that they raised this year. Now, therefore, I, Jonathan M. Bush, Mayor of the Borough of Metuchen, on behalf of the Borough Council and residents of Metuchen, hereby recognize and honor Congregation Neve Shalom's response to the attack on Beth Israel congregation. The relationship between Neve Shalom and Beth Israel is a reminder that geography does not define community. From the heart of New Jersey to Mississippi, these two Jewish congregations are bound by interconnected history. In times of tragedy, acts of friendship, compassion, and solidarity affirm the enduring strength of the Jewish people. And so I think I speak on behalf of the council members and obviously on behalf of our community to say what an extraordinary act of kindness, generosity, and talk about rising to the occasion. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you very much. So the Torah is described as, in the book of Proverbs, its ways are pleasant and all of its paths peaceful. It is a tree of life to those who grasp onto it, and whoever holds onto it is happy. And this speaks of the Torah as being a foundation of a way of life with peace and happiness at its core. The words of Torah are sacred, and all the more so the very scroll upon which it is written. When Ira came to me and said he wanted to help the Bethel community and asked what donating a Torah would look like, the answer was whatever it took. After experiencing such a violent, hateful act, our community values reacting with love, generosity, and compassion. This act of destruction failed to destroy what matters most and led us to building one community. Though there are differences between us, we are united by our shared Torah. Therefore, since our community is blessed with an abundance of Torah scrolls, each one we treasure, we have more than we need. And the right thing to do was to offer something of great spiritual value and something irreplaceable. The Torah is a constant across every Jewish community in every part of the world. Prayers and customs may differ, but every word in every Torah scroll is identical. The Torah unites every Jewish community and transcends all differences in belief and practice. By donating one of our beloved Torah scrolls to Beth Israel, our community is affirming the universal connection to the entirety of the Jewish people. We are all one people connected through God and love of Torah. We look forward to being with the people of Jackson through this process and are grateful for the enduring connection between our communities. Thank you, everyone.
And I'm going to say something else in response to something I failed to mention before. You know, on Saturday, I was with the members of Neve because I was invited by the members of Neve with first responders, like our head of EMS, Peter Faircloth. Obviously, our fire department was invited. Our chief of police, Artie Flaherty, was there. And we were invited to a service because they were honoring first responders. But because it's a conservative congregation and because it was the Sabbath, we obviously kept a low profile about it and we weren't going to be publishing pictures or anything. But, you know, this is an organization and the volunteers here don't just recognize, you know, obviously, who aren't just recognized themselves. You're all recognizing the work that goes into this community in general, and that means a lot to us. So we appreciate that you recognize our first responders, because obviously that's something that, you know, we think is really important. And so we have members of I think we have Peter's here, and I don't know if there's other members of the EMS or anybody else. Okay, but if we could get a picture at the front as we present this proclamation formally to you, as well as some members of Temple Emmanuel who are here from Edison. But I don't know who you'd like to be up here, but whoever you believe should be in the picture, we should go in the front, along with Senator Dignan, Peter Faircloth, and anyone else that the congregations believe, okay?
Come in after you get one. Get one of those maybe.
First lady of and the true voice. Who's taking the picture?
Alex, we're going to talk. You can stand next to you as close as that.
I can go behind.
Put this so it's not in the picture, and I can help us.
Good.
Just the look in your eyes of just like. Let's be honest, I have no poker face. I liked it very much. It's very suspicious. You know, we're a high.
We have to replace hate with love. So often.
I'm so moved. This is such a beautiful thing.
Thanks for coming.
Okay, we're gonna try to get on with this meeting if we can. So if we could take the conversation outside if possible, so we can continue our meeting. Great job, everyone. Thank you so much for your generosity and your support for our first responders, and of course, thanks for helping to set an example for others in this place, okay? Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you all. Thank you.
Safe travels.
All right, Council President, meeting minutes? Oh, we do public comment? I think do meeting minutes first so we can get them out a little bit. Yeah.
Sure. I make a motion to approve Borough Council meeting minutes of May 4th, 2026.
Okay, there's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And we'll just do communications consent agenda and then we'll go to.
Sure, no problem. I make a motion to approve communications consent agenda items A and B.
There's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. I think we're now at public comment. Anyone wishing to make public comment to the council, just name and address for the record, please. Thank you. Hi. Nice shirt.
Tara Matisse, 18 Colonial Court. Actually, well, okay. So I appreciate this opportunity to share my concerns about the license plate reader cameras. Now, are they defunct? Someone just told me maybe they're not being used anymore, in which case I
Yeah, why don't you make your comments, and if you have questions, we'll try to answer them afterwards.
Because maybe I probably have missed some stuff. But anyway, I'm especially concerned about those that are managed by the Flock company, but if we have others, I want to learn about them as well. I did send an email in February to all of you, and I don't think I got any response, and I am very late to follow up, so it's quite possible there's been news or other people came to speak and I don't even know. But my primary concern, if they're still in use, would be with the potential for the data that these cameras capture to be used inappropriately in ways that our community would not support and in ways that we didn't intend. From what I've read in reliably sourced articles, it's very easy for data collected by these cameras to be made available to others outside of the Metuchen Police Department. If the camera data is shared with anyone else, it's then possible for them to share it further without knowledge of or attention to our local policy, or without our permission, or without us even knowing that that data was shared further. From what I read last, but again, I could have missed something, by New Jersey current law, the data can be stored for up to 3 years, which is a lot longer than many other states. And there are some bills being proposed now to change that, again, unless I completely missed something. You could stop me now. But if not, I will read a couple of things I pulled from these articles. I'm not going to read everything I sent you in the email, just a couple of salient points. Police departments that contract with Flock can choose to share the license plate data they collect with no other police departments, with specific named police departments, with all departments in their state, or with the entire Flock network nationwide. So that's a choice you made. Flock has designed its system to incentivize maximum sharing. If a police department chooses to share their data with the entire nationwide network, then the police department gets access to the entire nationwide network. You show me yours, I'll show you mine. To share their data with police networks nationwide, all it takes is for an administrator to just click a button. Also, something I read is that Flock's default agreement with police departments gives the company the right to share the data with federal and local agencies for investigative purposes, even if a local department chooses to restrict data to its own officers. Local police around the country are performing lookups in Flock's AI-powered automatic license plate reader system for immigration-related searches or other purposes that may not be what we intended. Those were described in my email, some of them. Giving federal law enforcement side door access to a tool that it currently does not have a formal contract for. So I have a number of questions, or they are concerns. Do we have any working LPR cameras still? Do we have any owned by companies other than Flock? I know there were 3, I believe, by Flock at one point. I would also ask, what controls has Metuchen placed on the use of the data from these cameras? Do all of you understand how the data is or is not protected and how easy it may be for it to become misused? Also, from what I've read, the company Flock follows some unethical business practices. So I would ask you to carefully consider whether that is a company Metuchen still wants to do business with. There are a growing number of cities who've decided to disengage with Flock, take down their cameras. So I thank you for your time and hope you will give this concern serious consideration. I know you will.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Matisse, and I appreciate you bringing this to our attention. So off the top of our heads, I don't know the answers to your questions, but I really wanted you to get everything that you were thinking out, because we will ensure that our chief of police watches this segment of the meeting tomorrow. Typically, he's at our council meeting, but tonight he had something going on, so he wasn't able to be here. But I don't know the answer to all your questions. I also don't remember receiving your email. So if you could forward it again to me in case it got trapped in junk mail or something, there was an issue. But if you can forward that to me, we will make sure we get that to our police department. I know that there was an issue initially where the county was interested in having us initiate this use of these. I don't necessarily know if it was company specific or whatever. Otherwise, it's obviously designed to keep people safe, but there are, challenges as you're describing, and we want to make sure that we looked into them at least. So thank you for bringing it to our attention, and we will, at a minimum, we'll follow up, okay?
Sure.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for the resolution that you passed at the last meeting.
Oh.
I would have been here, but I was out of town.
That's okay.
Really, I watched the whole thing. It really made me smile.
Oh, good. We're glad. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care. Any other comments from the public? Just name and address for the record, please.
Rowan Brown, 144 Crystal Street. This is super short. I just came back from Williams College in Massachusetts, and I've never been involved in politics whatsoever, but ironically enough, I actually got involved in a little bit of the local governance up there because it had related to the college. And as I was doing all that stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh, the amount of boring but important things that the town council needs to do behind the scenes to keep a town operational. And I never really fully appreciated that. So just my simple and brief gratitude to all of you. I've lived here for 18 years. I don't know what the local issues are, but I know that sitting here, you are doing a lot of work and that it probably often goes unnoticed. So you have my gratitude as a resident of Metuchen. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. That's just about one of the best public comments we've ever received. Thank you, Rowan. Thank you, and good luck at school. We appreciate you very much. Yes, very good. Okay, yes, name and address for the record, please.
Hi, I'm Ben Chalfin, 39 Clarendon Court. First of all, I grew up in this town, left for college, stayed in Connecticut for a few years, came back. I'm glad that the town hasn't changed much. A couple new buildings, a couple new businesses, but overall, you guys have been doing a fantastic job. Younger Ben would be kicking me right now for making this comment, but a few weeks ago, my son and I were on our way to Moss School, and there was a driver who was frustrated with traffic and sped past us on the right. As Metuchen does, our fire, police, and EMS showed up really fast, took care of everything. But then just again this morning, or this afternoon on my way back from picking my son up from school on Grove Avenue, a car almost hit a pedestrian in the crosswalk. And I know the speed limit has been lowered over the years. It used to be 35 on Grove and 35 on 27, and now you can walk on 27. I walk my dog on 27, and it's not as scary as it used to be. But has there been any thought on reducing the speed in town? Maybe not the actual speed limit, but just making sure that people are abiding by the speed limits. I know that they have the speed signs, but just, I'm a parent of a 6-year-old, so my son doesn't always follow directions and may bolt into the street, and that's every parent's biggest fear. So just wanted to hear what you guys had to say. But again, you guys are doing a killer job. I mean, from the disco event last Sunday or Saturday to the Fuse run, you guys are killing it. So really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, there's some really inspiring stuff going on around town these days. Thank you very much. Ben, I'm going to kick this in a second. I hope he's okay with the council president, but I just will say that the answer is a resounding yes with respect to slowing people down. The speed limit is only one element of that, and we know that a percentage of the population, no matter what you do, will still exceed that speed limit, no matter how hard we try to enforce and whatever else. But there are other efforts besides just speed limit to sort of bring down, send signals, and we have got some significant work that will even inconvenience a number of us coming up the next year or so, that will, obviously on Main Street at least, that will help reduce some of the speed. But I'm going to kick it to Jason about some of the issues we've had or some of the work that we're doing to counter some of the concerns you have.
Sure, yeah, no problem. Thank you for coming and making the comment and the nice words. And I know we've been in touch over email for sure. So we have our Traffic and Transportation Committee, which is a group of volunteers that I'm a liaison to, which tries to, deal with these types of things. It's really a tough problem, and it's not a unique problem to Metuchen. In fact, being a donut hole surrounded by Edison's exploding population, it's almost probably even uniquely more difficult for us potentially. But what we always talk about in those meetings are what we call the 3 E's: engineering, enforcement, and education. On the enforcement side of things, the borough, the council has done a number of things over the last few years, including adding officers to the force specifically for the reason of creating a traffic enforcement division. And we now have that in place. It's been a year now or so? About a year or so. We have one of our sergeants that's leading up that group. Melissa, kick me or make, if I say it incorrectly, but my understanding is during every shift, there's someone on that shift who is part of that group that is looking out for traffic enforcement. So they're able to hopefully do some more enforcement. Unfortunately, they can't be everywhere, right? That's always the problem. And, we have information on number of tickets written, and it's quite a number of tickets, but they're always never there when they're doing that speeding past you on the right. So that's one of the E's. The next one is education. That's where traffic and transportation tries to step in. That's something that they're able to do as volunteers. You may have seen our slow down in our town signs that they put around. They try to take those and move those throughout town to maybe encourage people to, when they see them, think a little bit more about how fast they're going in these neighborhoods. You mentioned the speed signs that we have. We try to move those around too. We don't ever keep the signs in one location. The police department constantly moves them around, because if that sign is there for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, it just kind of fades away into the background. So they use that to number one, warn people about how fast they're going, but also if you ever see that, well, maybe I shouldn't say it publicly, but if you ever see that sign when it's off and you think maybe the battery's dead, it's actually capturing data. We're trying to get data about who's speeding on those streets, and we don't want to Councilman Branch, we don't want to affect the data that's coming up by giving them the feedback. So it's actually capturing data at those points in time. And then we use that to understand what time of day people are speeding potentially, what day of the week people are speeding. And then the police department can go out and make sure they put officers in that area at that time. And the last one's engineering, and that's one of the harder ones because it involves lots of money and lots of time. We do our best, and we do our best to get grants for those types of things whenever we can. And on Grove specifically, which you mentioned, we have a grant that we have for a bike lane that we're going to be installing on Grove Avenue. That is imminently coming to that area. With the intention is, number one, to make it safer for bikers, absolutely. But also, we find, and this is not just us, the people that look at these types of things find that when you add bike lanes, it narrows the roadway visually for someone that's driving, and it makes it feel like it should be slower, right? We changed the speed limit to 25, but we didn't do anything engineering-wise to make it feel 25. So we're hoping this starts going that way to make it feel 25. And there's a number of other projects grant-funded, Main Street grants coming up, where it's going to do lots of bump outs and crosswalks and lighted crossings all throughout the 1 mile downtown from Talmadge Avenue all the way to Brunswick Avenue. There's overheight detection for the bridge. There's new traffic lights going in. There's lots of things happening. It just takes lots of time, and nothing's ever fast enough. And for me too, I got on this council in my first year is when we got the grant for the Main Street, and I was so excited. I'm like, oh, this is great. I get to see the Main Street project done, and this is my 3rd term, and it still hasn't happened yet. Does that help, Mayor?
That's great. There's some real enthusiasm. Almost. Go ahead, Councilman Branch.
Yeah, I just need to add. I mean, I definitely sympathize with you, empathize. I almost got kind of hit on Friday, on Juneteenth of all days, right? I was talking to the police about this, Metuchen Police Department, about several weeks ago. And he said, there's a surprising number of tickets, I don't know if it's majority or not, that go to residents.
Yeah.
Right. So, while I have this mic right now, I want to remind, while we're thinking of ways to make our streets safer, it's just a note to the people who live here to just, to quote unquote lead by example. Right. Because there's this, I think this idea that the people who are speeding and breaking all these laws are, zooming between Edison, Woodbridge, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it's just a reminder for the people who live here. It's our job primarily, to set an example. Let's do what we can do in our power to have a safe community. That's all I got to say. Kids aren't the only ones running in the streets also. Adults, look up from your phones. Everybody be safe.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Any other council members want to comment on any of this? All right, well, thanks. Appreciate you bringing that to our attention, obviously. Any other members of the community want to speak? Okay. Seeing none, we're going to close public comment. We're going to move into, we moved a little out of order here. So, Council President, we're going to go on to the ordinance public hearing.
Correct. Ms. Zupan, could you please read ordinance 2026-10 by title only?
Ordinance 2026-10, ordinance to set the minimum and maximum wage ranges for certain borough employees, amending ordinance 2026-08.
Okay, we're going to open the public hearing now for 2026-10.
Or 03.
It's 08, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's 08?
No, it's amending 08. The, on the agenda, it says 03 because there have been several salary ordinances this year. In the original one I was given, it was an error and I carried it over.
But
My apologies.
this is ordinance 2026-10.
That is correct.
Okay, so then we're going to have a public hearing now on 2026-10. Does anybody have anything to say on that? Okay, at this time, we're going to close the public hearing on 2026-10. Council President?
I make a motion that ordinance 2026-10 be passed on second reading and published according to law.
Thanks. Is there a second?
Second.
All those, I shouldn't say that. Roll call, please. It's an ordinance. Go ahead.
Councilmember Branch?
Yes.
Councilmember Hyman?
Yes.
Councilmember Jethwani?
Yes.
Councilmember Sukan?
Yes.
Council President Delia?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Ms. Zupan, would you please read ordinance 2026-11 by title only?
Ordinance 2026-11, calendar year 2026 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank.
We're going to have now a public hearing with respect to 2026-11. Sorry, we're going to open a public hearing as to 2026-11. Is there anybody in the community who'd like to address the council and me on 2026-11? All right, seeing none, we're going to close the public hearing on 2026-11. Council President?
I make a motion that ordinance 2026-11 be passed on second reading and published according to law.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Branch?
Yes.
Councilmember Hyman?
Yes.
Councilmember Jethwani?
Yes.
Councilmember Sukan?
Yes.
Council President Delia?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Ms. Zupan, would you please read ordinance 2026-12 by title only?
Ordinance 2026-12, bond ordinance appropriating $2,616,000 and authorizing $2,484,000 bonds or notes of the borough for various improvements and purposes authorized to be undertaken by the Borough of Metuchen in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey.
Thank you. I make a motion that ordinance 2026-12 be passed on first reading, published according to law, and a public hearing set down from Monday, July 13th, 2026.
Thanks. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, before we do a roll call, since it's an introduction, I typically ask the borough administrator to do a quick explanation as to what this is for the community. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is, every year we pass a capital budget, which is part of our regular budget. This is for all major infrastructure operational. This year, when I gave the budget presentation last meeting, it was some examples of what we're using the money for is digitizing records, IT upgrades, sewer infrastructure, police department, public works, and fire apparatus and equipment. And then at the very, very beginning of the year, we did a jump start. We usually incorporate our road reconstruction program in with this, but this, we got a head start on that and did that, I think it was February? Yeah, I think it was in February, that we did that bond ordinance exclusively for the roads. So that's it.
Excellent, that's helpful, thank you. Okay. Roll call on the introduction, please.
Okay, where are we? Councilmember Branch.
Yes.
Councilmember Hyman.
Yes.
Councilmember Jethwani.
Yes.
Councilmember Sukan.
Yes.
Council President Delia.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. On to reports. You have a report of the Borough Administrator we're going to skip today. I don't think she has one. And now we're going to Council President. You have one?
Yeah, I have two, actually. I have one from Councilmember Candell, who unfortunately couldn't make it today, but he sent me his update. I'm going to read his first. So this is in his voice. Foos 5K. Yesterday morning was one of the best events of the year. I agree with that. The Foos 5K, which was sponsored again this year by It Takes a Borough. There were over 700 runners and walkers who participated in the 5K, raising money in the process for local families in need. Tyler's young daughter Sabrina ran the race, and the rest of his family were route marshals, and he can tell you that everyone who participated, from the runners and walkers to volunteers, had a great time. Special thank you to It Takes a Borough board for, again, pulling off such a fantastic event. And for the pool will be open every day beginning this Thursday, June 25th, opening at 11 a.m. on weekdays and on 10 a.m. on weekends and holidays. We have some great special events coming up, such as Family Fun Day this Friday, beginning with the DJ at 3:30, and then Float Night, which starts at 6 p.m. Then next Tuesday, June 30th at 11:30 will be our first water aerobics class. Every Monday at 3 p.m. there will be arts and crafts for young children under the pavilion. There are a lot more fun events on the calendar, so if you're interested, please visit the Metuchen Municipal Pool Facebook page or webpage through the Borough website. And that's Councilmember Candell's report. As for me, MDA has their very, very popular Kids Takeover event this week. It's June 25th, and it's from 1 to 5 p.m. in the downtown, throughout the downtown. This is the day after school is out. There's a slight change this year. It's usually the day of school, but this is the day after, so June 25th from 1 to 5 p.m. It's always such a fun event, one of the oldest events that the MDA puts on, so there's that. And then the other big one that I really wanted to let everyone know about is the master plan. So we are in the final stretch of updating the master plan. This is basically the blueprint for how our town is going to be growing over the next 10 years and beyond. Things like land use, housing, transportation, open space, all that kind of flows into this document. Anyone listening, hopefully this isn't a surprise and this is not the first time you've heard this, because I've been mentioning this master plan update from this microphone for the past year and more. The borough has been pushing updates out to the community. You might have found some of us throughout town, maybe on the train station platform perhaps, talking about it. And that's because this is one of the most consequential planning documents that we'll adopt in a long time. And I've talked about from up here, the community surveys that we've had, the visioning sessions, various chances to weigh in on what Metuchen should look like going forward. So if you filled out any of those surveys, if you came to any of those sessions or gave feedback in any way, thank you so much. Your input is reflected in this draft document that's on the way to the planning board. So I also need to take a minute to thank the planning board and our planning consultants for running a really, really thorough community engagement process to get us here. This has been an 18-month or so process that we've been doing this. We've had a lot of voices that have gone on into shaping what this draft is and what it shows. So we're at the finish line. The master plan draft document is up on the borough website, metuchennj.org. Find it right on the homepage in the news section. I encourage everyone to go take a look. It's about almost 200 pages. Very, very thorough. The planning board, this is the planning board's document at the end of the day. The master plan is the planning board's document. They're going to be holding a public hearing on Thursday, July 2nd, 7:30, right here in this room at Borough Hall. And after that hearing, they may vote to adopt the plan. That public hearing is your last formal opportunity to get on the record before it will be adopted. So I hope to see you there. And that's my report.
All right, thank you to you and for Tyler's ghost report there. We appreciate that. Councilmember Sukan?
Nothing from me today.
Nothing, thank you. Okay, Councilmember Jethwani?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah,
Sure.
just a couple of comments. The library is starting its summer reading program. It's kicking off starting this Wednesday, June 24th, and it runs through August 15th. A reminder that this summer reading program is open to all ages, and you can either visit the library to get started or find more information on the library website. on Wednesday, June 24th at 7 p.m. and Friday, June 26th at 11 p.m. There'll be ceramic bowl painting at the library, which is open to teens and adults, and materials are provided. Since space is limited, registration is required. And we want to thank the Friends of the Metuchen Library who made this program possible through their support. And Saturday, June 27th, a special kids music concert by Rocknest Music will be taking place at the library at 2 p.m., which is for all ages of children and their caregivers. And just a reminder that the library is now operating on summer hours, which means it will be closed on Sundays, which started from June 14th through September 6th. And then I just wanted to mention, and I think, Mayor, you were there as well, but on Saturday, I stopped by the Metuchen Food Hub's Disco Soup event, and I think it was referenced earlier as well. And I just wanted to mention that it was, an amazing event. It highlighted the awareness about food insecurity and preventing food waste. But it was, which are serious topics, and simultaneously the event was really filled with joy and positivity and was very inspiring. There were local and regional organizations there that who support this work, that were tabling and sharing resources, and the volunteers were chopping up the rescued produce to make the soup. And I just want to really commend the effort of all the organizations involved in this Food Hub event that made that day so special. So and on that note, that is all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Hyman?
Yes, thank you. The CARES Committee was excited again to give the library $500 for their young adult CARES collection, which are books that may be fiction or nonfiction and address important issues of healthy living for teens, including but not limited to the prevention of substance use disorders or behavioral addictions, such as teen gambling, screen addiction, and porn. Reduction of stress, good nutrition, mental health, gender identity, sexuality, et cetera. So we're really happy to support that with the library. Also, coming up this week on June 24th is graduation night for the Metuchen High School, and they're supporting Project Graduation, which is a wonderful event that keeps the kids off the streets, gives them a big party to go to from 10 p.m. when they get dropped off by their parents after they have their graduation dinners, and they party all night till 5 a.m., get taken back to the high school where they are given breakfast and picked up by an adult, so they don't drive at all, and they're encouraged to stay safe on graduation night, which we all know is probably the most dangerous night of the year for teen drivers. The CARES Committee will have a table at the Farmers Market on August 8th, so if you'd like any information about what CARES does, it's a great opportunity to pick up some fresh vegetables and wonderful bread and olives stuffed with blue cheese, which I shouldn't know about, and that'll be on August 8th. We'll have a table there. Also mark your calendars for August 31st, the actual Overdose Awareness Day. We will be having our yearly event, hopefully here outside the Borough, at 7:30 p.m. on Monday, August 31st. It's a very special event. If you've been there, it's growing, our numbers are growing, and it's a really very moving event. So please mark your calendars and join the community and show your support. Our next meeting for the CARES Committee is July 9th at 7:15. As we all know, the Poor Parade Commission had their Memorial Day parade canceled once again, but this team of intrepid, resilient, and creative people moved quickly and arranged to have a ceremony at the American Legion, which I hear was very well attended and a moving event. We're already planning, of course, for our holiday parade, which will be held the Sunday after Thanksgiving. If you are interested in participating with the parade committee, please reach out to me directly. You can find my email on the Metuchen website. It's lhyman@metuchen.com. Our next meeting is July 21st at 7:15. The Seniors Commission met on June 10th, discussing meeting times to accommodate members. Their next meeting will be September 9th at 4 p.m. And the Board of Health next meeting is September 9th at 7:30 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Branch, you're up.
Yes, sir. Okay, starting with Juneteenth, last Friday, the MDA had its 6th annual Juneteenth celebration out on the Town Plaza. I think that was one of our biggest crowds for Juneteenth to date. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out, fellow council members, Mayor, Jonathan, you stuck around for a long time this time. Thanks for hanging out. So look forward to next year. Metuchen Voices, my next update. So as you all know, Councilmember Jethwani and I have been working on this project, Metuchen Voices, which is an oral community history project. So we are really ready to kick this off. We will be advertising, not advertising, but putting a call out for applications this week, hopefully, that is the plan. And I'd like to thank our first inaugural interview with none other than our Chief of Police, Arthur Flaherty. So thank you for sitting down with the committee and giving an interview for the time capsule. Really appreciate it. So more to come there. Let's see. Environmental Commission, pleased to confirm that the Green Fair at Thomas Peterson Park is set for August 16th. The team is currently recruiting participants with a goal of hosting 5 booths and an electric vehicle display. And additionally, the commission will be hosting an outreach table at the farmers market on September 12th. And finally, the commission is actively working with DEP to secure new anti-idling signage and educational materials for the town. Good for them, especially as we move into summertime. For the Human Relations Commission, happy to announce that the Williams Scholarship has been awarded to Alistair Fawcett, who I've known for a long time. So congratulations, Alistair, on this achievement. And happy graduation. The HRC is planning 2 major upcoming events. These are both community conversations. Number 1, what makes the community work? To honor America's 250th anniversary, the library will host a panel during the last week of July. It will feature representatives from our fire, police, finance, and health departments to discuss their roles in fostering community connection. Keep an eye out for the email. Oh, that's a note to me. ChatGPT doesn't know how to summarize, it's very literal. Community conversation on belonging is the second one. Looking toward late August or September, the HRC is going to move to a more interactive type of style for this, planning a community storytelling, potentially art installation based on the perspectives gathered from the recent Pride and Juneteenth events. Great for them. Promises to be a powerful, anonymous way to share resident experiences and build a stronger sense of belonging. That's my report.
All right, thank you very much, council member. There's been these references to these events as we went around the different council members. But I'll tell you, Saturday, if you put yourself in my shoes for a moment and imagine what it's like to have a day like we had in the Borough on Saturday, it was really, really inspiring. 10 a.m., I was at the farmer's market, and you see all these volunteers who year-round you show up for the farmer's market, you get what you need, and you're like, wow, this is a really neat thing in this town, but you don't realize the only reason we have it is because these extraordinary volunteers who work really hard, not just to, put up tents, but they book these farmers and, local businesses, and they work very closely with the borough to make sure that this is done right. We've got, the DPW helps out, our police department help out. We put it all together. It's just a huge amount of work, and you just have a lot of appreciation for someone in your community who's willing to do that for you and for us. That's the first one. Then, at 11 o'clock, Neve Shalom, I referred to this before, has a service honoring our first responders, and you're meeting these volunteers, 10 of whom are headed to Jackson, Mississippi this week to give a Torah. Obviously, I just talked to Ira Grubman, who's the president who you saw earlier, and he's describing what's involved in delivering a 250-year-old Torah. They have a seat for the Torah on the airplane, by the way. They're also coordinating with the FBI for delivery of this because there's security issues. It's just huge amounts of work going into all of this. Then, of course, the disco soup event that Councilmember Dithwani's talking about. They turned they turned 200 plus pounds of food into 500 bowls or packages of soup for people who need it, and the amount of work that went into planning that event. There was a DJ, there were volunteers, adults, children, so many different public and nonprofit organizations, private organizations involved in this, and you're just inspired by it. Then, okay, I think my day's done, and you're like, wait a minute, we've got Juneteenth tonight, and you get the Metuchen Downtown Alliance volunteers, and what they're doing. And obviously, it was great to see Councilmember Branch in the DJ booth throughout this, which is just fun to see this other side of Joel. Who, for those of you who don't know it, I highly encourage familiarity with it. It's a good time for sure. But it was just, there was so much excitement on the plaza. I'm not going to get into what the other council members said about the event, but it was just felt great that we have this celebration here. And it's a celebration that began 6 years ago, not just because, it wasn't just, that everybody else was doing it. We were one of the first to do it. I mean, we've been doing it for 6 years. Within days of the federal and state governments acknowledging the holiday, we're on it. And that is just the level of cutting edge we're at. Okay, fine. So it seems like, okay, enough with the volunteers. But the next morning you wake up and we have the Foos 5. Which is It Takes a Borough. And the entire purpose of that organization is to make sure that there is money so that if ever, unfortunately it happens, right? You have a couple of moments a year where families in our community are impacted by a tragedy and they need something. And too many communities have this happen and it takes days, sometimes weeks or longer to come together if they're even able to do that. But because of this organization, because of their board members, because of their volunteers, because of races, and because of Cookie Walk and other events that Councilmember Candel refers to in his reports, we're able to, rise to the occasion within days and support these families. And it's not just money, it's also shopping. In the case of a fire a couple years ago, we had volunteers who were shopping for toothbrushes and shampoo and getting these people on their feet as quickly as possible. This place is so incredibly inspiring. You don't have to be the mayor to realize that. It just hits you. It hits you about the work that people are doing here, and this is not like everywhere else. It's not. And I had a moment on Saturday and thinking, God, this place is awesome. And yeah, we have stuff that happens here. This is not a perfect place, right? Of course, but it's a great place. It is a great place to live, and the people who are here are just, just strikes me as just wonderful. Overwhelmingly wonderful people. So it hit me. I wanted to share that feeling with everyone today. Okay, with that, we're going to move on to the new business consent agenda.
Well said, Mayor. I make a motion to approve the new business consent agenda resolutions 2026-199 to 2026-203.
Thanks. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I make a motion to approve resolution 2026-204, authorizing the payment of the bill list in the amount of $9,830,086.81.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I make a motion to adjourn.
There's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? All right, we're adjourned. Everybody enjoy your summer. And by the way, for the kids or families, you too, congratulations on the last day of school. Yeah. Oh, wait. And we have a big event coming up to celebrate America as part of our general, obviously support of Metuchen is America and the 250th anniversary, the semi-sesquicentennial of the United States of America, which is being held on Sunday, beginning at the 28th, beginning at 5, okay? So we hope you can help celebrate America downtown with us on Sunday, the 28th at 5. All right, happy last day of school, happy summer, be safe, enjoy yourself.